Alright, hello my friends. Hope you're all doing well. We're back with more Mechabellum. I'm going to be recording a couple games today and posting them all on a block, so let me know if you prefer that or prefer the focus on individual games, whether the videos are sort of 10 to 20 minutes or in the more half-hour to 40-minute range. I'm interested in your feedback there. Let's take a look at what we've got. I like Supply Specialist with Marksman Mustang. Supply Specialist is one of my favorites, so I think we can go with that, and Mustang and Marksman are both, I think, just well-rounded units that do well overall. My opponent has Arclights and Stormcallers, which are very good against my units, so I think we are going to want to get the Mustang upgrade where they are able to shoot down missiles, especially if my opponent plays more Stormcallers over the course of the game. Missile Interceptor costs us 300, so we need to kind of plan for that. We've got our Mustangs. We want a little behind our Marksmen so that they arrive ahead of them since they're faster, but not so far behind that they arrive at wildly different times. So let's kind of group them maybe back here a little bit. Definitely spreading out my units a little more too, just so that the artillery is maybe pulled in different directions. What can we go that will counter this? We want something fast, maybe something air-based. We could work in some Phoenixes to our comp. I think that will be pretty good, probably. So let's just unlock Phoenixes and grab a unit of those. That has the potential to get us a free win if they have no way to shoot up. And if they do, then at least we've put them under pressure and stopped their main comp from working. They are quick supply specialists, so they'll have extra money this round. We'll see what they go with. They went with crawlers, so we are guaranteed a win since they have no way to shoot up against these Phoenixes. They will need some way to destroy Phoenixes in the next couple rounds, so I'm guessing that we will see marksmen of their own, potentially fangs, something like that. Honestly, our marksmen are doing better against the Stormcallers than I was expecting. It's possible that with a range upgrade they can reasonably counter the Stormcallers. Extended range Vulcan is kind of interesting, although I think it is pretty early to buy a reinforcement that costs cash. Let's just go with the Missile Strike. I will probably just use it as well. I'm also going to upgrade these Mustangs probably next round. So this round I think we will just go with more Mustangs, and that way we'll have enough mass of fire to be able to counter the missile play from my opponent. Do 2 of those. I expect that we'll see Phoenixes or potentially marksmen of their own to shoot down our Phoenixes. Right now we're just doing these 2 Phoenixes as kind of a way to get that free win round 1, but it does also pressure our opponent to get something that will fight up. I could buy a missile. I don't think we need one this turn. Is there anything I want to unlock currently? No, I don't believe so. We may go crawlers later on, but they do have Arclights in their comp, and right now we're doing pretty well at ignoring those. So let's see what they come out with. Looks like Mustangs of their own, as well as sentry missiles. So I'm feeling pretty good about overwhelming them with just more of our own Mustangs. We will probably lose this round because they have so much AoE and we don't. And our Mustangs are spending a lot of shots on these crawlers. But once we get the anti-missile upgrade, we should be doing a little better. It does look like their Mustangs did not aim at our Phoenixes, though, so we're still winning this round for free because of aerial supremacy. At this point, I might invest in more Phoenixes. Let's see what we've got. I could decrease the cost of giant units by 50, which will definitely be useful later on. I also still have that Missile Strike that I've never used. I also do like getting intensive training. I think that can be very valuable. So let's pick that one up. getting XP early on some of our units can be very good. I will level these Phoenixes. I could level them straight to 3. And I'll be leveling this Marksman as well. Let us, at this point, think about how we're going to face their Mustangs. So I need something that does AoE damage and doesn't just die to these Stormcallers, although I could go with AoE damage that does die to the Stormcallers in combination with the anti-missile upgrade if they build more Stormcallers. I think at this point we are winning enough on the ground that I would like to just unlock Crawlers and try to pressure my opponent's backfield with Crawler flanks. So let's get one of those on each side. Try to peel off the Stormcallers. They won't do anything this round, and of course my opponent has the missiles, but currently the Mustangs are going to move sideways and maybe fight Crawlers, and that will allow our Phoenixes to reign uncontested. I could go with a mass deployment for a 3rd unit, possibly a Phoenix. Let's also upgrade our Phoenixes again to level 3. Going to save on the mass deployment. I will place a missile here and here, though, because I think I would really like to win this round. Oh, ran out of time, but... The 2nd unit and 3rd unit of Stormcallers are both being peeled off by our Crawler flank, so feeling pretty good about that. Still don't have a ton of AoE, but since we just outnumber them with our Mustangs, we should still be able to chew through their Mustangs pretty well. I will layer in more Crawlers in my front line as well later on. That way they can distract the Stormcaller missiles because they're fast and prevent the opponent from being able to kill our Mustangs with their Stormcallers. Opponent continuing to just not respect the Phoenixes, though. Just hoping their Mustangs would get the job done. So we're just continuing to get these free wins. They're very low damage wins, but it lets us kind of tech up. This round I'm going to use my cooldown as well. That actually works out well that we ate that missile right before the round ended, and still won. At this point, I could pick up melting points, but lower range melting points I feel are not great. I could go for extended range Stormcallers and get my own Stormcallers. I actually really like that idea. Let's get that, and then we can potentially defeat their Stormcallers in an artillery duel. So I will unlock Stormcallers, buy 2 of them with the extra range, get them kind of in the middle here. Ideally not blocking my Mustangs, but the way that I've positioned this, unfortunately, causes me to have to do that. I will also pick up the anti-missile on my Mustangs, and I'm going to launch a missile at their units just right here. At this point as well, I could buy more missiles. I could also invest in another marksman, but I think we'll just level our 2 marksmen, and that will use my money effectively. See what my opponent has in store for us. Looks like they have gone for Giant Hunter, trying to defeat my giant units, but we don't have any of those yet. This missile could be fairly badly placed. We'll see what happens. At the moment, they are able to deal with these Crawlers effectively, so we may buy a scrap, buy the upgrade that lets us scrap those Crawlers and just remove them from the flanks. The field recovery upgrade. Opponent continuing to have no way to handle air units, though, so still feeling pretty good about that. Will be interesting to see how our Mustangs handle the Stormcallers. Looks like they are currently knocking down every missile while our Stormcallers are getting into position. I did place these a little badly so that my Stormcallers are not hitting theirs while the Mustangs are fighting in the front lines. Although, again, just having air units when they don't is working very well for us. They do need to go something with anti-air, so I'm expecting possibly fortresses with the anti-air barrage upgrade. I'm going to get another cooldown effect. Let's also upgrade one of our Stormcaller units. I think that will be pretty good. I could go for the Ion Beam this turn. I think the Ion Beam is going to be very valuable this turn, so we will probably get that. In addition, I want something that can pressure my opponent's AoE effects, possibly Overlords, although them having Giant Specialist makes that a little less attractive. I do have enough Marksmen layered in that I think Fortresses are not ideal for my opponent. Let's mix in one Overlord to the comp and probably get some kind of tech upgrade as well. So Overlords, I want to be coming in just behind my Mustangs. I could pick up extra splash ammo for my Stormcallers. I don't think we need that. I could pick up the barrier for my Phoenixes. I don't think we need that currently. I do want extended range marksmen at some point, but for now, I think we're going to go with layering in more crawlers into the front line. Place these here, and I'm going to place them in a column so that they maybe distract... no, against Stormcallers, I want them in a line so that the shots miss. I will also buy a missile. We'll see if they get a shield. And another missile on the other side. Just in time. Okay, they did get shields. They went with Fortresses as their anti-air of choice. I think that the Stormcallers are good enough against Fortresses, plus I have Marksmen, that I'm not terribly afraid of that. They did not purchase the anti-air upgrade on these yet. So currently my Stormcallers are layering in damage to their Fortresses. Although the crawlers that I bought have been very ineffective. Definitely missing some shots here, so we're going to need something that deals with those. Currently, they only have this one fortress that can fight air units, but it will kill the Overlord if it gets... Oh, and a single Mustang left, if it gets over to them. Luckily, we did clear it out ahead of time, so again, my opponent not going air units is really playing in our favor here. I could build more Overlords, possibly with the Wasp upgrade, although I think that their way back into this game is to give their Fortresses the anti-air barrage. So I could also potentially just go with more Stormcallers. Fortresses of my own probably wouldn't be bad. Let's go with the Smoke. I think that will be pretty good. It does get... The shield will ignore it, but if I layer the Smoke ahead of the shield, then that will stop my opponent's units from doing anything. So let's layer in the Smoke ahead here. I'm also going to get this Ion Beam cutting in along this path to clear out their Stormcallers as much as I can. Hopefully that the shield will be out of the way at that before that goes off. Let's buy another Overlord on this side and upgrade them with the artillery. I also want to get possibly extended range on these, or additional extended range on my Stormcallers. Incendiary ammo is also fairly attractive. I think I will buy a third unit of Stormcallers as well to help clear through fortress shields, and we'll get the incendiary ammo. Currently not using these cooldown effects and have a couple upgrades that I can get later, but the upgraded Mustangs are not that important at this point, I don't think. Mustangs for anti-missiles will help against enemy anti-air as well, depending on what anti-air they go with. Looks like the Ion Beam is doing exactly what I hoped it would. We've got... The Smoke was disrupted by the shield, but still is cutting off enough of what they're doing, and then we're placing these incendiary bombs underneath their fortresses. They did go the anti-air barrage, which did not get cut down by my Mustangs, which I thought it would, so that's an interesting interaction. That said, the extended range on my Stormcallers should allow us to clear through their Stormcallers, and the cooldowns that we have versus the no cooldowns on the opponent's side, I think is really giving us the edge in this fight. If we go for another round, I'll probably focus in on just more cooldowns, although I think we might have enough damage at the end of this one to finish it. Nope, they have 100 health. Let's get attack. I really like attack here. I could also go for cooldowns, but I think just clearing through these shields even faster is where we want to be. My opponent does have additional barrages. Let's get this missile and drop it right on these Stormcallers, which are holding still because of the crawlers. Let's also upgrade one of these Overlords. We'll upgrade the one on this side that lived through the last fight. I don't know if we want any of these upgrades at this point. I could just go with more Stormcallers. My opponent has 2 units of Mustangs that don't have the anti-missile shot yet, so I think trying to overwhelm my opponent's shields and anti-missile, if they get it, with just more Stormcallers layered into this fight. Let's also pick up these upgrades where we can get them. Also considering getting the Acid Explosion. Subterranean Crawlers would also be fairly interesting, but I think at this point we just want more upgrades. Try to keep our units fairly current. Opponent going for more shields. We could layer in melting points, but I think Stormcallers are where we really want to be here. Attempting to just use the missile barrages to clear through the opponent's fortresses. They are now countering our air units, but we're no longer really relying on these air units to win our fights. They did backline some fortresses, though, so that's interesting. That will mean that our units are not getting the... Our Stormcallers are not doing as much upfront DPS to their shields, but the 2 fortresses in behind just died so quickly that they really aren't going to impact this fight. Felt pretty good about this one, just getting the extended range Stormcaller upgrade and using that to just overwhelm my opponent's Stormcallers feels like it was the right move. And layering in just a few air units so they felt compelled to sort of over-respond as the air units were getting free win after free win really put them on the back foot this whole game. The crawler flanks, I don't know how important those were to the overall victory. They did distract the Stormcallers a few times, but overall I felt like we played that one pretty well. Now it is time to queue up again. I've been really enjoying Mechabellum. I hope you have been enjoying seeing me play it. I'm absolutely open to advice, feedback, anything that you see that I'm doing wrong. I think one of my weaker points as a player sort of figuring this game out at this point is I forget to get the tech upgrades and don't always go for the correct ones. I think often I am more interested in kind of varying my comp than in making one kind of unit really strong, and I think sometimes you really do just want to go in on one kind of unit. So I'm interested in more veteran players' feedback on that. Let's take a look at what our options are here. I do like Heavy Armor Specialist. I really like Marksman Sledgehammer. I like Supply. I like Quick Supply. Really, all of these options I think are good. I think in this case, I'm going to go with Heavy Armor, with Marksman Sledgehammer. I think that's just a really clean unit comp. And I think that Heavy Armor really gives you such an edge in the early fights that it makes up for the lower starting health and kind of puts your opponent on the back foot. They've gone for Sledge Crawler, which I think we should be advantaged in the fights against Sledge Crawler because we have our own Sledgehammers. Because we have Marksman, our own Sledgehammers to clear the Crawlers, and we have Marksman that will help clear out the opponent's Sledgehammers. If their Crawlers come in first, I definitely want my units focusing on those. I think we do want something still to help clear those, and the thing to do usually in that case is Arc Lights, so I'm going to get those. I will buy 2 Arc Lights. kind of layer those in, just in behind the Stormcallers, but ahead of the marksmen. Let's get our marksmen just a touch further back, just to make sure that they aren't accidentally getting caught up in crawler swarms. And if we have placed our units correctly, let's move the sledgehammers in just a little more for this comp, and we'll kind of spread things out as we go. We want our sledgehammers hitting their crawlers and our marksmen hitting their sledgehammers. Looks like they've layered it so that their sledges are coming in behind their crawlers, so we are basically just playing a game of, do we have enough AoE to clear these crawlers, or are the crawlers just going to overwhelm our units beforehand? I think we have enough to get the job done, though. Looks like on the left side we're doing very well, and on the right side we have a couple units left while our marksmen are still hitting sledgehammers, so feeling good about that. Notice that the opponent placed their crawlers in columns. This is very good against AoE effects because it means that the fewer crawlers are exposed to the explosion at once. Elite Crawler is very interesting. Subsidized Marksman, also very interesting. Wow, I wish I could just take all of these. Deployment Specialist is also often an auto-take, just being able to deploy 3 things at once. I think we'll go with Deployment Specialist, although I am very tempted by the level 5 crawlers and just kind of fight them in the crawler battles. But this Deployment Specialist just scales so well later in the game. They have speed specialists with their crawlers also, which I hadn't really twigged to, but that is very interesting. Let's get another arc light to help clear through crawlers, and we can buy 2 more units. I think at this stage, I maybe just want 1 more arc light and possibly 1 more marksman, or 2 more arc lights. I'm concerned that they're going to go something like Steel Ball that will, without more marksmen, just clear through my heavy armored units very quickly. If I were them, I think that would be the play I would make. So let's get 1 more arc light, put it on the wide flank to face other crawlers, and then I'm going to get 1 more marksman. We'll stick that one on the left flank, and on the right flank I'll use a missile to try to ensure that we win this round. See if the opponent goes for crawler flanks. If they do, then we could be in trouble on the left flank, or at least it'll eat our marksman. But yeah, so here's the flank on both sides, but we do have arc lights in position to help with those. Great Missile, cleared 2 units, which is all you can ask for from a missile. This marksman is a little orphaned, definitely not doing much, but our marksman on the left actually survived. Probably need to place another arc light on each side, but we're currently winning so, at least on the left side, we're currently winning so heavily on the front that I'm not terribly worried about the flanks. But clearing those out, now that they have the faster spawn, is going to be more important. Mass-produced Sledgehammer is less good when you already have Sledgehammer. Subsidized Steel Ball, I do like the idea of, but I think we're just going to go with the Missile Strike. I do like getting cooldowns early. We won't use it until they have something that it can hit sort of more statically, but at this point I'm going to be picking up an Arc Light for the left flank, not that one, this one. Layer it in a little further back, but not so far back that it, yeah, I want it to be starting in range, but not so close to the crawlers that it just dies to them. We will also, at this point, buy something that helps with the opponent's potential to get steel balls. So I could get balls of my own, I could get more marksmen, I could get phoenixes. The opponent currently has no way to shoot up, so I think phoenixes give us a nice second dimension. They will help with, let's try to place them so they don't get pulled off on the flank. There we go. Put them further back, but... Oh, okay, so there's nowhere I can place these where they won't get pulled off on the flank if they are far enough back. So they're going to arrive a little ahead of where I want them, but I think that will be okay. We'll also upgrade this arc light because it's free. Yeah, opponent went with steel balls like we predicted, so I feel like that was a really good read, and the Phoenixes are going to get us a free win. Probably we will not get a lot of damage in this round because it looks like they are winning the on-the-ground fight, but the Phoenixes are enough to clear through all of their balls. Opponent is definitely in some trouble here. I could go with... Ooh, subsidized Mustangs is very tempting. Yeah, I'm going to pick up these subsidized Mustangs and unlock Mustangs. Layer in 3 Mustangs, then they will need something to deal with swarms, which they currently don't have. Really just trying to always think one step ahead of what they're doing. Buy 3 Mustangs, put them at the backs of my heights. I guess I want these ones where they will clear the crawlers and then move up. These ones just in the center. Similarly, these ones where they will help clear crawlers and then move up. I can also buy an upgrade. Let's get extended range on these marksmen. I think that will be important for when the opponent does something to counter my Phoenixes. Still have a lot of upgrades. I maybe should have just upgraded my units rather than bought extended range, but I'm feeling pretty good about where we're at, and we were just able to get a discounted unit in these Mustangs. Later on, we'll get tech upgrades for them as well. Opponent went with mass deployment and has built marksmen of their own to counter our Phoenixes. Makes perfect sense. But now we have these Mustangs, which the marksmen are bad against. So again, just always trying to be one step ahead of where they are. They are currently winning the marksman duels, and we don't have enough stuff to clear through all of their crawlers. So this is going to be a less convincing win. If we do end up winning. Yeah, these crawlers are a problem for us. There's just so many of them. We could get, at this point, Vulcans or something to help clear through what the opponent is doing. They were able to go for level 2 marksmen right away, so they went for the leveled units. Did they buy range on them? They did not. Okay. So I do need something that will help clear through these crawlers. Possibly... Well, I'm going to go with this ion beam, and that will help with the marksman. I could buy... Let's definitely get extra damage on these. I'm going to, I think at this point, just get crawlers of my own to distract their marksmen. Maybe some other form of swarming unit. I could get... The explosive damage on Mustangs is also very tempting here. Yeah, I like the explosive damage here. Let's also drop a missile here on their marksman, and we'll use this ion beam, and I'm going to aim it kind of down the pipe here. Hope that that clears through the sledges and the marksman. Actually, want that a little, placed just a little further forward. I also need to decide what I'm buying. Could just be more Mustangs. I could get extra damage on these sledgehammers, potentially. I could just get more marksmen of my own. But we do just need to clear through what they're doing. So let's just get some more arc lights, I think. I'm running out of time here. Need to place those. Okay, I do have enough time to place them, but only barely, and we'll get some upgrades. The explosive ammo will definitely help clear through their crawlers a little faster. Looks like the ion beam was not placed perfectly, but it still did clear through their marksmen. They also went hackers, very interesting. That is taking our units over very quickly, but it's not very good against our Mustangs, because it only clears one unit at a time. We used 2 cooldowns to get that victory, but that's why we had stored up the cooldowns. So, feeling pretty good about that one. Alright, let's go for one more, see if we can get a more even game. Opponent, fairly low combat power here, but I have seen a lot of people smurfing, so that doesn't necessarily mean that they are new to the game. Quick Supply Specialist is one that I like, although Fang Sledgehammer is not a unit comp I feel great about. Arclight Phoenix with the Giant Specialist is kind of nice. I do really like the Rhino Specialist. Starting with a free Marksman, with Crawler Stormcaller, all of these are pretty good. Let's go with Giant Specialist. I haven't actually played Giant Specialist yet. Being able to get free Giants feels pretty good, and Arclight Phoenix is a nice comp that has ways to deal with most things. Let's place my units and then look at what my opponent has. So they have Arclight Steel Ball, so that's going to be very good against our Arclights, but not so good against the Phoenixes. I definitely want something that we can use to clear through the Steel Balls. I think I might get Marksman, although they're likely to buy anti-air, since we have Phoenixes here. I could go for a Swarm, although they have, against the Steel Balls, although they do have Arclights. I could just buy more Phoenixes and kind of wait. I think at this point, layering in a couple Marksmen isn't a terrible idea. Although Crawlers also are appealing to distract the Steel Balls. I think for now I'm actually just going to buy one more unit of Phoenixes and wait to decide on my tech until I see what the opponent does. I will unlock Crawlers because we're pretty likely to want those, I think, at some point this game, especially if they go light on the Arclights. Widely spacing the Phoenixes to make sure that they don't get countered too heavily by anything. Opponent has just gone for a Missile and more Arclights, so they have no way to kill the Phoenixes. They've decided to just accept losing round 1. I think we are also going to... yeah, we'll clear out the Missile here. Arclights don't have an anti-air upgrade, right? Yeah, no, they don't. Okay, so the opponent is definitely going to need some way to beat... ooh. Extended range Phoenix is pretty nice. Extended range Arclight, also nice. I could decrease recruitment cost of Steel Ball as well. You know what? I've never gone Elite Crawlers. I think that sounds kind of fun. We'll do that later on, though. I obviously don't want to spend 300 on Crawlers this round against all these Arclights. At this point, though, what I'm going to be doing, I think, is just getting one more Arclight, and then I will be unlocking something that can help deal with what they have. Maybe Stormcallers, in case they go for swarms of their own. Maybe Mustangs. I think one unit of Stormcallers is going to add a nice dimension to our battle here, where the opponent is going to have to really do something to deal with those. And then we'll just get one more Arclight in case they go for more swarms. As their anti-air option of choice. Place the Arclights wide, and actually just a little deeper set in case of flanks. And I'll do the same on the other side. Next round. Opponent has gone with a swarming unit, a single unit of Mustangs. Our Stormcallers are, of course, going to miss their shots on the Steel Balls at first, but... alright, so the way that my Phoenixes are lined up is actually very bad for us. They were all fighting the Mustangs. and arrived before the steel balls did. But the Stormcallers still did very well. Opponent can go with anti-missile. Extended range Stormcaller seems fine. I could also just go with Smoke Bomb. I don't think we actually need extended range Stormcaller this round, so let's go with Smoke Bomb. That will help with the Mustangs and Steel Balls. Keep them in range of the Stormcallers. Let's get another unit of Stormcallers and layer it in on this side. Add Arclight. I will eventually flank with the level 5 crawlers, don't worry, but for now I want to make sure that we're winning the frontline fight. That turn worked out pretty well in terms of spending all my money. Have also upgraded the unit of Stormcallers, which I feel is going to be very good. I do, I think, want the Incendiary, since they're missing all of their early shots. They're targeting them into the balls instead of into the Mustangs, and so placing the Incendiary ammo on the ground is going to give us a pretty big boost here. Shields you generally don't want to purchase against Stormcallers, because the Stormcallers clear the shields out very quickly, although it does work out pretty well against the smoke, since it blocked all of the smoke bomb that I just took. Yeah, we are going to need some kind of Incendiary ammo, some kind of option for dealing with these Mustangs. The opponents, my Arclights actually did not do what I was hoping they would and clear out the Mustangs, so now we're losing this fight. That shield worked out very well for them. It really ate our entire smoke bomb. I need something to distract these Mustangs, which I think is going to be the level 5 crawlers. We'll just place those at the front lines. Incendiary Bomb or Recruitment. I could also just get Supply Specialist. I think this game might go long, so I'm tempted to get Supply Specialist. We do also have Giant Specialists, so unlocking those is free. I should keep that in mind. This, we're probably not buying giant units this turn, so that will basically cost us 100 this turn. I do think that just getting the cooldowns is going to be really important for us, though. At this point, I am going to buy these 2 units of high-level crawlers. Place them a little further back here. Or do I want to flank with them and distract? Yeah, let's flank with them and peel Mustangs that way. We might lose this round as a result. Both units of Mustangs are peeling. Can we split them? Yeah, so if we do that, it splits the Mustangs up. Here, yeah, we're splitting off just a few Mustangs, and the Arclights are not going to the sides, so that's great for us. Let's upgrade. Could go with missiles as well, or shields of my own. I think at this point, though, we just really want to let our elite crawlers on the flanks start to pressure my opponent, then we'll put elite crawlers in the front as well later, next round. I am going to fire this Incendiary Bomb. We'll put it on the other side here. No, we'll just put it on the same side. Maybe my opponent doesn't shield the same place twice in a row. Maybe they do. So, great shield from the opponent, ate my bomb again. These crawlers are so tanky, though, that even with the spawn delay, they're still getting in and fighting. Probably get some more in the front lines. Man, these Mustangs are so good against Arclights, who should clear them out. I think we're definitely in trouble this round. I should be upgrading my Arclight damage, I think. Still, we can afford to bleed a little, and then we'll be able to pick up Fortresses or Overlords, something along those lines. The opponent blocking both of my cooldowns is very nice for them as well, so that cost us a lot. Airdrops and energy shields. Yeah, I could get my own shield. I think we'll get a shield on a cooldown here. That will help a lot. Let's get Arclight damage upgrades, and also upgrade this Arclight. Then I'm going to buy possibly just more Arclights to clear through their Mustangs. At this point, though, the crawlers on the flanks do have their ability to fight a little better. I'm also going to get 1 unit of crawlers in the front here to kind of tank the steel balls, and I think we will get the... I'm going to get a loan by another unit of crawlers over here. Next round, I will be purchasing one of the crawler upgrades, and in the meantime, just upgrade a unit. And I will buy a missile, although it has worked out well for my opponent that their things have been blocking my things, but we'll place a missile over on this side. Next round, I want to transition to giant units. Ah, there. Mustang shot down my missile. Very interesting. Yes, so they now have the anti-missile tech, and they have enough units on the side that they're clearing through those crawlers. But the anti-missile tech doesn't do anything against the extra damage Arclights. I need more stuff to tank in front, so I'll probably be going fortresses as my giant unit of choice. Peeling off the units is still good with the crawlers. They now have a lot of stuff very heavily invested in the back corners. And the Mustangs are spending all of their time shooting missiles and not clearing through my units. But the big winner that round was the extra damage Arclights. Just killing the Mustangs much faster. Let's do... I think just more cooldowns. Just continuing to buy those. I'm now going to unlock fortresses, and I think buy just the 1 fortress. Next round I'll buy a second one and give it a shield. Put that a little further forward. At this point I also do want a photon emission, let's say on this side. Maybe a little further back. I could get yet another unit of crawlers in the front line. I could upgrade my crawlers with the subterranean upgrade. I think that does seem pretty good. Let's get that, and let's get 1 more Arclight. Layer in the Arclights, and then we'll layer in more fortresses next round. Opponent has just gone for a bunch of shields, so I'm glad I didn't use a cooldown this round. Next turn, I think the plan is to just get 2 fortresses, give the fortresses the shield upgrade. Again, shields against Stormcallers are often difficult because the Stormcallers clear the shields so quickly. My crawlers also are actually getting in now because of the subterranean crawler upgrade. Opponent's wasps are very good here. But the fortresses are doing enough damage and tanking enough that I think we're going to be in pretty good shape this round. I don't have enough damage on the Arclights to clear through all these Mustangs currently, but now the Mustangs are shooting missiles instead of shooting units. Not sure if the opponent is going to have enough health to survive this. Looks like they will. But I don't see a reason to deviate from the plan. We're going for 2 more fortresses. Still tempted to get extended range Arclights. This is very good. We can get the anti-shield thing and then place a smoke bomb. So let's do anti-shields, and then we'll do the smoke bomb in behind the anti-shield effect. Kind of in along this side, maybe. Actually, let's set that a little deeper back, because the opponent's units are going to be peeling off to fight my underground crawlers. Buy 2 more fortresses. Layer them in the middle here and get the bubble on those. Then they can kind of protect the Stormcallers better. Upgrade these Stormcallers for sure. Also going to be just upgrading a bunch of arc lights to make sure that they maintain enough damage to clear through Mustangs. I'll probably be going for more crawlers and maybe some crawler upgrades next round. We could also just layer in a different type of giant unit, like a melting point. Melting points are probably pretty good, because I think my opponent's way back in this is melting points or something like that of their own. Maybe Stormcallers. They've gone for the orbital bombardment, but we do have these shields, at least. Opponent doing these backline shields, which aren't going to do anything. So, us getting these shields on our fortresses worked pretty well. We are going to lose all of our Stormcallers to that orbital bombardment, though. So this round could be a little rough, just due to that. Going to add in the aerial barrage to my fortresses as well next turn. That will both help with these wasps and also put even more pressure on my opponent's Mustangs as their anti-missile effect. Opponent is definitely spending very heavily on shields, which is typically not great. It sets you behind, but they are winning these rounds. We do have some health to give, though, so I don't feel bad as long as we get these even rounds. This has been a great game so far. Ooh, making some free sledgehammers, kind of like that. Yeah, let's get that. Let's equip it on this fortress, which is the one that's lasting the longest. Upgrade these with the anti-air barrage. At this point, I also do want to add in some more units that can clear through Mustangs, so I could go with Vulcans, I could go with Overlords, I could go with melting points in case of my opponent's giant units, although I think it's one turn too early to do that. I could just go with more crawlers to tank. I think I might just want more crawlers. Let's also make sure that I'm getting the upgrades that we need. Kind of want the incendiary bombs on my Stormcallers. And maybe acid on the crawlers. I wonder if they're going far up enough or if this will result in them hurting my own fortresses too much. I think we'll get one more fortress. Just continuing to try to pressure my opponent's units here. And probably another arc light. Continuing to try to clear through these Mustangs. Get these upgrades as well. I could take a loan out to upgrade my other units, but I think we have enough health that I'm okay waiting one more turn. We did just buy an important tech as well. So we'll wait one more turn and see what my opponent brings to the table here. Looks like melting points. I think a single melting point isn't going to do it. And as you can see, the anti-air barrage is really putting pressure on my opponent's Mustangs here. So now we have our missile fire getting through a little bit better. That said, I think I do just want more crawlers against what my opponent has here. It looks like this round will end, though. We just overwhelmed the single melting point with enough fortresses to get through it. This was a great round, though. Very well played by my opponent. Felt really good about that one. I'll save the replay here as well, I think, and maybe do an analysis on that later. But for now, thank you for watching, my friends. This has been 3 quick matches of Mechabellum. Hope you are enjoying it. If you are, of course, feel free to do all the YouTube stuff, you know, drop a like on the video, comment, reply to someone else's comment, just like tell them what your favorite color is, what your favorite Mechabellum unit is. Replying to comments on videos is actually one of the best ways to get the YouTube algorithm to engage, so just keep that in mind whenever you're watching content you like. And I will see you next time. Cheers, folks. GG.